Subscribe to Feminism in India for your dose of intersectional feminist content and make sure to hit the bell icon to get all the latest updates.
So that's how my hobbies are nothing but scrubbing floors and daydreaming about things that are never going to happen.
Okay, so being a princess from a fairy tale, where do you stand on the recent controversy of Snow White being kissed by a random prince against her consent?
Just two things. He's a prince and they do get married, so that's a happily ever after.
Haven't we all grown up listening to the tales of beautiful damsels, chivalrous princess, love at first sight, and happily ever afters? Well, the fairy tales are the bedtime stories we can never get enough of, with the rosy storylines and pixie dust. But it seems like there's a flip side to it. What, you ask? Our beloved fairy tales are riddled with archaic and prejudicial stereotypes. Let us dig deeper and find out what makes these centuries-old fairy tales so problematic. Key to a woman's happiness is marriage. What was common with Cinderella losing her glass slippers, Snow White taking a bite into a poisonous apple, and the Little Mermaid trading her voice for human legs? Well, it seems like all these stories culminate with wedding bells. Fairy tales blatantly propagate the happily ever after narrative, which can only be achieved through marriage. Moreover, they make it very clear that a girl's life would be miserable, like Cinderella's with mopping floors, or Snow White's being harassed by an evil stepmother until and unless she marries the Prince Charming on a white horse. This sets the patriarchal belief in a young girl's mind that she would need a man in her life to make her happy and content, as apparently a woman's happiness is impossible if she is on her own. Clear-cut dichotomy between a good and a bad woman. Fairy tales unapologetically sketch out the portrait of the so-called perfect woman who is passive, does all household work on time, and wears still name. This can have a toxic impact on a young girl's mind who would grow up believing that she can come across as likable only and only if she's all coy and demure as her favorite princess. On the other hand, the witches are the absolute examples of a bad woman, probably because they like dressing up, taking care of themselves, and having the agency and independence that the good protagonist usually lacks. It all boils down to give the message that being a woman chained in patriarchal expectations would be rewarding at the end, while breaking out of the shackles like a bad woman would lead to one's doom. Perpetuating Eurocentric beauty standards and lack of diversity. The princesses in the fairy tales are the ones who are always fair and lovely, flawless with perfect hourglass bodies, and more than often having shiny golden curls. These unrealistic body standards, governed by fairness and thinness, can lead to young girls having body image issues. What's more, the so-called villains of these stories are usually portrayed as overweight and dark like the Little Mermaid's Ursula, freckled as Cinderella's sisters, and old and wrinkly as the witch of Rapunzel. The bad women are shown to be clad in makeup and a red lipstick, propagating the idea that a darker lip shade is for the evil and not the good girl. These stories can be seen as highly insensitive to disabilities, as most of the time the antagonists are seen either limping or hunched or are blind in one eye. Moreover, the main characters are almost always heterosexual and cisgendered. Consent and female agency overlooked. Fairy tales literally scream out, "What on earth is consent?" Like imagine, you're Aurora from Sleeping Beauty and you wake up from a 100-year nap only to find a random man kissing you. Or the last time you remember, you had dropped dead after consuming a poisonous apple, but the next moment you see a random man kissing you back to life and asking you to be his wife. Moreover, women characters are given no agency to make any choices for themselves. What if Cinderella never fell in love with Prince Charming but the glass slipper test was thrust upon her? Or Rapunzel felt an invasion to her privacy when an unsolicited man climbed up her tower? And Belle from Beauty and the Beast was just handed over from one patriarchal figure to the other, with no say of her own at all. Promoting problematic tropes. Needless to say, fairy tales work rigidly on traditional gender roles. While the women have to be these passive damsels in distress who need to be liberated, men are expected to hold on tightly to the savior complex and be the knights in shining armor. What's more, the glorification of these tropes sets toxic examples for both girls and boys. While the girls should do nothing about their misery but just keep waiting for their Prince Charming, the pressure falls on boys as a test for their masculinity to rescue the fair maidens and go on a quest to find true love. As fairy tales are the first kind of life lessons for kids, it should be taken care of that these stories are delivered to the young minds in a fashion that's more close to reality and away from societal stereotypes, so that the models children take home leave a positive imprint on their personalities and ideologies. And believe me, that is the only way one can achieve a happily ever after. What are the other ways you think fairy tales are problematic? Let us know in the comment section. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment and share, and don't forget to subscribe to Feminism in India for your dose of intersectional feminist content.